So, what is it that really keeps a project from going off the rails or, completely sinking? It's not just about having a great idea or a super talented team. It's something called project governance. You can think of it as the ship's blueprint and the captain's log all rolled into one. It's the framework that makes sure you don't just launch your project, but you actually get to where you intended to go.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with what project governance even is, then talk about building our ship, laying the foundation. After that, we'll set sail with the execution, navigate the open waters, and finally cross that finish line. We're really going to cover the whole shebang, from start to finish.
So, first things first, what exactly are we talking about when we say governance? Before we get into all the details, let's just make sure we're all on the same page with this really core concept. Now, the official PMBOK definition really hits the nail on the head. Governance isn't just about a bunch of rules and boring meetings. No, it's all about making smart, informed decisions. See, every single choice, from the budget to the timeline to who's on the team, is a decision that can either protect or chip away at your project's value. Good governance just makes sure every decision adds value. This right here perfectly captures what governance is all about. Think of each of those colorful strands as a different part of your project. You've got the budget, the team, the schedule, your stakeholders, all these different things. Well, governance is the act of weaving them all together into one single super strong rope that keeps your project anchored and totally secure. And it's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process that makes sure all these pieces are working together and pointing in the same direction. Any successful voyage starts with a solid plan and a ship that's actually built to last. Well, in project management, it's the exact same idea. It means you have to lay a really strong foundation with a clear governance structure before you even think about starting the real work. And it all starts with these 3 crucial steps. Getting these right, it's like laying a perfect keel for your ship. They create the stability and the direction you need for literally everything that comes next. So let's break them down. First up, you initiate the project. This is the official green light, right? It's often a project charter. This is where you formally connect the dots between the work you're about to do and the big picture goals of the organization. It answers that one fundamental question: why are we even doing this? And gets everybody on the same page from day one.
Okay, next, you integrate and align all your different plans. This is where you take all those separate pieces, your scope, your schedule, your budget, your quality plans, and you mash them all together into a single coherent master blueprint. This unified plan, it becomes the one and only source of truth for how the project's going to be run, how it's going to be monitored, and how it'll eventually close out. And finally, for this stage, you've got to plan your sourcing. This is all about getting your crew and your supplies ready. You have to make a big decision here. Do we have the right skills and the people we need inside our own organization, or do we need to go out and bring in some external partners or contractors to get this job done right? All right, so our foundation is solid. Our blueprint is in hand. Now it's time to actually launch this ship and get moving. This is the execution phase. This is where all those plans finally turn into action and the real work actually begins. During execution, these 3 key processes are like interlocking gears in your project's engine. They're not a simple 1, 2, 3 sequence. Nope. They're constantly turning together, driving the project forward, and making sure the work is getting done and getting done right. Managing project execution is, well, it's the main event. This is where the project manager leads the team. This is where you're actually doing the tasks you laid out in that master blueprint, managing all your resources, and of course, tackling all the inevitable issues and risks that are going to pop up along the way. Then you've got quality assurance, and this is so important. It's not about inspecting the final thing to find mistakes. It's about auditing the process. It's about making sure the way you're working is effective and meets the standards you set out. That's what builds confidence that the final output will be exactly what your stakeholders are hoping for. And finally, we have managing project knowledge. This process is all about making sure you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. It's about actively using lessons you've learned from past projects, while at the same time capturing new insights as you go. This makes your current project way smarter and builds up a knowledge base that's going to help the entire organization in the future. So once you're out there sailing, the job is far from over. You can't just set a course and cross your fingers. You have to actively navigate, right? You're constantly checking your position, you're watching for changes in the weather, and you're adjusting your course whenever you need to.
This slide perfectly shows the two critical jobs of a project captain. Over on the left, you've got monitor and control. That's you with a spyglass, proactively tracking your progress against the map you made. You're constantly asking, are we where we're supposed to be? Then on the right, you have assess and implement changes. That's you at the helm of the ship, reacting to a sudden change in the wind or a new destination request from a stakeholder. It's about having a real, formal process to decide if and how to change course without, sinking the whole ship. All journeys have to come to an end, right? And a well-governed project makes sure that arriving in port is just as organized and just as deliberate as the departure was. And that brings us to the very last process, closing the project or phase. This is the formal act of docking the ship. You finalize everything, you complete all the paperwork, you archive the project's knowledge, that ship's log, for future voyages, and you formally release your amazing team and all your resources so they can move on to their next big adventure. Okay, so let's just zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. All these different stages of the voyage, from building the ship to docking at the port, they're all part of one big integrated system that's designed to do one single thing: protect the project's ultimate value. And look, if you remember just one thing from all this, please let it be this. Governance is not just some document you create at the beginning and then forget about. It is the constant guiding force. It's the set of processes and decisions that are active and totally pervasive from the second of initiation all the way through to the final closure. So as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own projects. Are they just sailing along, or are they being actively governed? The question I'll leave you with is this: how is your project's value being protected every single step of the way?